I used to know exactly what a productive Friday looked like. It was 3 p.m., the heavy lifting was done, and I'd spend the last 2 hours updating spreadsheets, clearing the inbox, ticking the boxes. It felt okay. I mean, there were other things I'd rather be doing, like taking a walk, or gardening, or reading a real physical book. But damn it, it felt like I was doing the work. But what happens when the machine does the work? What happens when the spreadsheets update themselves? The emails write themselves, and the boxes are ticked before you even sit down with your coffee. If you're not the one grinding out the words or crunching the data, what exactly are you getting paid for? That's the question looming over every marketing LinkedIn feed right now. We are terrified of being obsolete. We are staring at these tools, wondering if we're redesigning our work or just designing ourselves out of a job. Welcome to Humans of AI. I'm Alaura Weaver. Today, we're talking to someone who has made a career out of walking into the unknown before the rest of us even realize the ground is shifting. Cathy McPhillips helped define content marketing before it was even a role on a marketing team. Now, as the Chief Marketing Officer at SmarterX and Chief Growth Officer for Marketing AI Institute, she's living at the bleeding edge of our next great existential crisis.
I am. Let's do it.
And she's asking the same questions we are. Now, before we share Cathy's story, bear with me while I nerd out over the history of content marketing. The point will make itself clear, promise. Content marketing didn't start with the internet. John Deere was publishing the Furrow magazine for farmers in 1895. Michelin created their Star Guide to get people to drive more cars and buy more tires. Think about the strategy here. John Deere didn't just print a catalog of tractors. They taught farmers how to be more profitable. Because if a farmer is successful, eventually they're going to need a new tractor. Michelin didn't write about rubber treads. They gave people a reason to drive across France. They weren't selling the product. They were selling the lifestyle around it. That's the same playbook we use today. Every B2B blog, every branded podcast, all have the same basic idea. Teach and inspire your target audience, build trust and affinity with them, and revenue follows. Content has always been how brands build trust and affinity. Now, fast forward into the early 2000s. The internet is made of content. It's not just a distribution channel, it's the actual fabric of the space. So, when buyers went online, content became the literal key to unlocking a newly shaped buyer journey. Before, if buyers wanted to evaluate a product, they had to wait for a trade show, flip through a Rolodex, or sit through a pitch just to get a spec sheet. The vendor held all the cards. But suddenly they didn't need us for that. They just searched. The traditional neat little sales funnel collapsed. New forms of communication and intelligence gathering always shape how brands are discovered. Diego Lamonto, our CMO, remembers the panic of that specific shift and how we all had to scramble to reach people who were actively avoiding our cold calls.
And it was changing the buyer journey, right? So no longer did you call or reach out when you realized you had a need to a vendor. You did your own research and you educated yourself, and the company did enter the journey much later than it did in the past. And so I think you all really recognized something was changing about the buyer's journey, and you helped marketers understand how to adapt.
Cathy was at the Content Marketing Institute back then. And CMI didn't just ride that wave, they basically built the surfboard. Before them, content online mostly meant stuffing keywords into a blog post so Google could rank you. CMI elevated it. They turned content marketing into a legitimate business strategy, proving that educating your buyer was more profitable than interrupting them. But even with CMI leading the charge, Cathy will be first to admit the transition was messy.
I was a follower of Joe Polizzi and the Content Marketing Institute before I started working for them. And I remember, soaking in all this information and this knowledge and then trying to implement it with the client I was working with at the time. And looking back, I'm like, that was not content marketing in the slightest bit. Like, I was misinformed. I really didn't truly understand it. People didn't really understand it. They couldn't wrap their head around it. And marketing to many was like campaigns and ads. And content came in and it's like, where does this fit in?
It's the same question we're asking about AI today. But let's rewind to 2019. Think about what AI looked like to marketers back then. There was no ChatGPT. There was no magic text box where you could type a prompt and get a campaign strategy. AI was this highly technical, abstract concept that lived in data science departments, not marketing orgs. It felt like science fiction. So for Cathy to look at that landscape and leave the established, comfortable world of CMI and take a leap of faith to join the Marketing AI Institute, that was a massive risk. She was walking away from a category she helped build to bet her career on a technology most of us couldn't even define yet. In 2019, Cathy went to the first MyCon, the Marketing AI conference, and decided she had to be on the team that figured it out.
It was hard because it was still kind of abstract. There wasn't ChatGPT, and it was like, I don't know what this even means. And I got to learn, I got to do my job, and I have to learn in parallel.
If that doesn't sum up the modern marketer's dilemma, I don't know what does. We are building the plane while flying it, and half the time we aren't even sure if it's a plane or a submarine. Cathy started experimenting, and she started failing, and she started figuring it out, and she started sharing the wins and the losses.
The first thing I did was I jumped to LinkedIn, or I'd record a video and say, oh my gosh, you guys, look what I just did. And to look back at those videos now, they're kind of laughable at like the most basic things. But I think there were a lot of those light bulb moments of, oh, that's AI? Oh, I can do that. I can do that and still be a good marketer and a good human and not try to have it replace all of the things I fundamentally like doing.
That fear that the machine will replace parts of the job we actually like is the elephant in the room. We don't just want to be efficient. We want to be fulfilled. Cathy brought up a concept that she called the productive struggle.
I don't think we've fully grappled with what happens when AI removes some of the productive struggle that we deal with when we're trying to learn and grow. I think that's a big one. And then I worry about if we're redesigning work as quickly as AI is doing that for us, are we preserving our growth and not just trying to become more efficient?
If you heard our episode with Robert Rose, your ears probably just perked up. Robert talked about valuable friction, those moments in the creative process that resist automation, the choices that actually give us our sense of purpose. Cathy is calling it the productive struggle. It's the same pattern. The struggle is where the learning happens. The friction is where the taste is developed. Diego immediately keyed in on this.
I really like that term productive struggle because I do think that for something to be worthwhile, there is often a struggle, especially if you're trying to learn and adapt and change. So that struggle is productive. Give us an example of your own perhaps productive struggle that you had in the past.
I was talking to Will Reynolds, I would say a few months ago. We were talking about how tired we are, how much work we're doing, how much AI is like taking out a lot of that repetitive that's actually lovely to not have to do a bunch of that stuff, but we're not getting the downtime we used to have. I said, I used to 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock on a Friday, I'd say, okay, I'm going to work for the next few hours, but I'm going to update my spreadsheets. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And it's all productive. And he said, define productivity. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. He's like, isn't productive closing your computer and going outside and doing something and collecting your thoughts? Like, why does productivity need to be that you're always doing something and you're always working? Isn't that going outside and refreshing and going for a walk without music and like having another thought? That's productive.
We have conflated productivity with output. We've been trained to believe that if our hands aren't on the keyboard, we aren't working. But AI forces us to redefine our value. If the machine can generate the output, our value isn't in the typing. It's in the thinking. It's in the taste. It's in the judgment.
I think actually what changes the nature of what productivity is, because as we've in the past measured productivity, it was doing stuff like hands-on keys, delivering, creating, having a meter in which you're ticking the box that you've gotten stuff done. But when AI can do so much of that work for you, what productivity is changes. It's not so much about, pumping out stuff. It's partnering with your technology and producing something interesting. What does a productive marketer look like?
I think every week it's different. It's, when I'm trying to block off time for, say, Macon to develop our theme for 2026. I can't block off from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon and say, I'm going to be creative right now. Maybe I can meet with Ashley on my team, who's our head of events, and she and I can just have a brainstorming session, or I can sit down with an LLM. But ultimately, it's going to be that thing when I'm outside or in the shower or something where I have this like, oh my gosh, I have this great idea.
So if our value is in our ideas, how do we make sure those ideas don't get flattened by the machine? A lot of AI-generated content is just slop. It sounds good, but it just sounds like everybody else. It's missing the unquantifiable. The machine can generate the words, but humans create the vibes. We are the secret sauce that makes a brand actually distinctive. So, how do we use these tools to scale our work without losing our soul? Cathy says it comes down to one word: conviction.
One, it's just like maintaining and building credibility, being really strong in conviction. You have a point of view. You are sticking to that point of view. You're not trying to be everything to everyone. And that, again, that's just some basic marketing. And I don't think that changes with AI. And now when we're trying to make sure we're searchable in the LLMs and we're coming up, the AEO and GEO, but that still all boils back to doing what's best for our customers, answering our questions and being there for them.
You can't outsource your point of view. You can't ask AI to care about your customers for you.
If you take something from an LLM for a blog post, for website copy, for whatever you're using it for, and you can't repeat that without reading it, you don't understand it. So you need to make sure that you're using it in tandem with your beliefs, your mission of your company, what your customer, what your product, service, all of those things are. You have to understand it as well as these machines do.
You have to build the conviction in a direction, in your marketing platform. Otherwise, it sounds good, but there's not anything unique about it. So you should be building that conviction and that opinionated nature into the actual framework and structure of how you use these tools.
And especially when we're trying to reach out to business leaders and marketers, they can see us using AI in that way a mile away. We can't do it like that.
Right. Otherwise, there's no reason to stop and talk to you at the moment because it's nothing that uniquely resonates.
We are entering an era of infinite content, infinite noise. And in a world where anyone can generate 1,000 blog posts in an hour, trust is our scarcest resource. Cathy sees this not as a threat, but as a massive opportunity to double down on what makes us human.
I think the more AI advances, I think the more valuable, genuine human experiences matter. I think the future belongs to marketers who can combine technology with humanity. And I think that there are so many things that, we went to ebooks, people like holding books now. We went to greeting cards online, and now people want to get paper greeting cards. I think it always comes back to connection.
This is all history playing out again. It rhymes. We're experiencing part of a pattern where new technology changes how we gather intelligence and discover brands, but the actual buying decisions are made the exact same way humans have always made them, around trust and affinity. Your value isn't how fast you can type. It isn't in how many spreadsheets you can update on a Friday afternoon. Your value is in your judgment, your taste, your empathy. your ability to look at a wall of AI-generated text and say, nope, that's not us. This is us. So, here's your Monday morning action. This week, I want you to identify one piece of productive discomfort. Find one task that AI has made incredibly easy for you. Maybe it's drafting an email or outlining a brief. Let the AI do the heavy lifting. But then, take the 30 minutes you just saved and do not fill it with more screen time. Close the laptop. Go for a walk without listening to a podcast. Read that real physical book. Call a customer just to ask how their day is going. Use the time the machine gave you to do something only a human can do. And then document it. Write down exactly what happened when you stopped focusing on efficiency for half an hour. Did you uncover a new insight? Did you solve a problem that's been bugging you for weeks? Did you just feel human again? Because efficiency might keep the lights on, but connection is what actually drives the business. I'm Alaura Weaver. Thanks for listening to Humans of AI. And thanks so much to Cathy McPhillips for sharing her story.